Welcome to Inspiring Minds, powered by the Edison Awards, where we showcase the leading innovators from across the globe. I'm your host, Jennifer Trammell. Take a look out your window right now. Can you spot any power lines? We rely on this infrastructure to deliver energy to our homes, our offices. America's power grid, though, is in need of a major update, to the tune of $320 billion over the next 10 years. But what if instead of creating new transmission lines, we could make the ones we have more efficient? Prysmian Group developed the E3X Robot System to upgrade more than 600,000 miles of existing transmission lines, helping utilities increase capacity and enabling more power to be delivered. The goal? Speed up the much-needed modernization of the U.S. energy grid and facilitate the transition to clean energy sources. Prismian's E3X technology is already applied to aluminum conductors for new overhead transmission lines, and now the robotic technology allows the coating to be applied to lines that are already standing. It's an innovation that requires partnership between the developers and their utility customers. Joining Inspiring Minds today, Prismian CEO Andrea Pieradini and Prismian R&D Director Satish Ranganathan, with Exelon ComEd Chief Operations Officer Terry Donnelly. The first guest we'll hear from is Prismian CEO Andrea. I'd like to welcome all of you to Inspiring Minds, the Edison Awards podcast.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
And congratulations on winning gold at the Edison Awards here this year.
We were very, very happy. We are definitely very happy. Absolutely. It's something that, the way the prize works was quite interesting for me. First time I was attending the ceremony, and I think it was definitely a great event, very well organized, and full of emotion for us.
Well, congratulations. It's an honor for your teams.
And at Exelon and Commonwealth Edison in Chicago, we were also very excited.
This is Terry Donnelly.
With the partnership and our employees, of course, with this honor.
Well, let's jump into learning more about this technology and talking about innovation. Prismian has pioneered a technology to upgrade hundreds of thousands of miles of power transmission lines. And before we talk about the innovation and the Exelon ComEd partnership, Andrea, will you help us really better understand the big picture? What is the state of America's power system?
Well, when a system transitions towards renewable energies, we've seen this in America in the last few years, because this is not just happening now. This has been progressively happening. Now we're seeing an acceleration. Same thing is happening in Europe. So when you transition towards renewable, then you have a big, big impact on the transmission, because transmission of energy changes. There are flows that have different patterns, and therefore the transmission line need to be upgraded. The transmission system need to be very often enhanced, sometimes redesigned, in order to cope with this challenge. So typically, when you talk about budgets, for every dollar you invest in generating renewables, you need another dollar in transmission lines, in enhancing the transmission system. We're talking about a significant budget. And just to give you an idea, the estimate is that in the US, about $320 billion are going to be necessary to upgrade the transmission system in the next 10 years. So to make it resilient, to create the right balances of load, and to be able to cope with the increasing amount of renewable energy.
And from Exelon's perspective?
No, I would certainly agree with all that. With the state of the power grid in general, we're on the cusp of transformation with high penetration renewables to meet the needs and challenges posed by climate change and other challenges, cybersecurity, electrification, and the need for a more resilient grid, new power flows, two-way power flows. And this causes challenges because the existing power grid is a legacy power grid. You know, it's been around for a long time, over a century. So our challenges are always around how we modernize a power grid to meet the challenges of the future using the existing system. How do we do that? And I think when you look at transmission lines and the partnership with Prismian that we've had, transmission lines are those big lines with the big towers. They're critical in providing reliable energy to customers. And they carry massive amounts of power. And that much power causes heat and results in losses. And of course, these lines are legacy. So we're always in the need for new capacity, increased capacity, and for different reasons, electrification in our future. So in addition, it ultimately reduces the life of the lines, heat and loads, resulting in the need to replace these lines, which can be quite expensive. And this technology that we're talking about and partnered with Prismian is really innovative, and it helps minimize the heat so that the lines can run cooler and we can increase the capacity to bring more power without negatively impacting the line itself, sort of like a suntan lotion, so to speak, on transmission lines. And it's very exciting because it's best utilizing the existing assets, applying technology to make a better system in the future to meet the needs that I've talked about.
Terry, thanks for helping us to understand that, the problem with the existing power lines and the inefficiencies. So, Satish, the Prysmian Group really saw an opportunity here to increase the power line capacity, and that way more power can be delivered. Walk us through how the E3X robot system came about, and for our listeners, help us understand how this works.
Jen, thanks for the question. And also, I would like to thank Terry and Andrea for their valuable time. I'm fortunate to be part of this conversation. The innovation itself, in 2015, we have introduced world's first coating for overhead conductors, which increases the capacity, reduces the losses, and minimize the sag-related issues. After we launched this E3X coating technology for factory-made conductors, customers were asking, how about expanding this innovation to the conductors, which is already in the field in service? In US alone, we have about 600,000 miles of transmission conductors in service already. So this coating technology could help to increase capacity and also could benefit to reduce scope 3 carbon emissions. So this was a great opportunity for us to jump in and work with our customer. So we partnered with Infosys, one of the world's largest software and engineering firm, to develop a robot system. So that's how we developed E3X Robot Coating System.
Anytime you're pioneering this kind of new technology, I got to imagine there's challenges along the way. What were some of the challenges that Prismian faced in this situation, and how did the team overcome those?
It is an excellent question, Jen. As we all know, any innovation has its own challenges and hurdles during product development cycle. It is important for us to focus on solution and overcome the hurdles and be partnered with the customer so that we can minimize the risk at early stage of the project. Fortunately, Exelon leadership also believes in innovation and sustainability, which enhance US power network system. Hence, we partnered with Exelon in early stage of product development, which immensely helped us to minimize the risk and qualify the product. We are grateful to Exelon leadership for their support. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Prismian R&D, sales, and the commercial team for their dedication and persistent and hard work. Without this teamwork, this would not be possible.
Well, I would say that any new technology, I couldn't agree more, Satish, is fraught with challenges and problems, so to speak. And the goal and how to make it work in the real world is an enormous task in harsh environments on real lines, on real power grids serving millions of people. And I think the only way you can do that is with a strong partnership with a utility like Exelon or ComEd in Chicago, and certainly with Prismian, and to work together to solve these problems and make it work.
Harry, let's talk a little bit more about that partnership. And Andrea, you might be the best person to address this. It's an interesting case because you can't fully vet the technology without your customer who owns the actual power lines. So, Andrea, how did Prismian's partnership develop with Exelon, with ComEd?
You know, in general, it is very much our approach to try to develop innovation together with our customers. There are clearly ideas. There are some things that might come out of the various different situations. Maybe you have an idea coming from one area that then you try to transfer into another area. But all these things they have to develop with customers. It's only then when you start to work with real issues that then you start to tune it, to move forward. And this was not an easy challenge. You can imagine to design a robot that is in a condition to apply the coating to an existing line. Also with the challenge of being able to do that without disconnecting the line. So also we're working with all these challenges. I mean, it was technically tough, and we have to thank so much Exelon and ComEd, who dedicated a lot of their time and resources in allowing us to understand better what had to be done in tuning the robot, and then finally ending up with a live proof. That was, I think, May last year, where we managed to have an effectively working robot doing the job. I think it was a great story, and extremely grateful to a customer that showed a lot of trust in us.
I think I go back to this is being applied on a real transmission line, and the partnership with our own workforce on this new technology was critical. So we had our own overhead transmission line workers at our training facility, working with Prismian, with the E3X product and the robot on how to apply the coating. And our own line workers who pride themselves in innovation and being at the forefront of this transformation that I'm talking about, actually applied the coatings, obviously in partnership and oversight with Prismian and our own folks, on the conductors. And it was really special to have that involvement from our frontline employees and engineers with Prismian to apply new technology on the real deal.
Terry, that was a great comment. In fact, as you said, before we go to the actual field, we went to a ComEd training center. We were interacting with their crews, how to handle, and especially safety, right? This is very important for us and for Exelon. So we discussed multiple angles, like how to handle and what are the process we need to follow. They have a lot of passion, and their team was very supportive and openness to share the information to make this happen. This was a great teamwork, and again, I'm thankful for Exelon engineering team.
Yeah, and the feedback from our line workers was the installation went pretty well, and they can be the critic's critic, the frontline worker, and we want that feedback, and I think we all Prismian ourselves want that feedback. But it was went pretty well. And I think it was all the investment in the partnership and all the investment on the front end in order to make this installation smooth. Of course, we're into an evaluation period. How does this actually work? What parameters are we seeing on the line with the coding? So we've entered a new chapter in evaluation, which is really exciting as well.
Harry, as you think about that evaluation, what does this kind of innovation mean for power companies like yours?
How you best utilize our existing assets is a challenge that we're always looking for new solutions because we're not building brand new. We are, but we're utilizing our existing assets. And how do we do that with new technology? And innovation, we have at ComEd in Chicago, we serve 11,400 square miles, a population of 10 million people. And we have 5,800 miles of transmission, the big stuff, 114,000 miles of distribution. So there's a lot out there to figure out how do we transform the grid, and we've improved reliability by almost 70% over the last 10 years to a top level performance in the nation, and we're very proud of that. So, but when you look at the challenges, innovation's critical to our culture. And these kinds of partnerships are critical for us meeting the needs of the future and the growing needs. Clean and renewable energy is going to be everywhere. Transmission lines, distribution lines, and we need to get our systems to the point to handle this in a highly resilient and reliable way. This technology helps us avoid premature replacement of equipment and increase the capability of existing facilities. That means economics. And what does that, when you say economics on a power grid or a regulated utility, it means customer savings. Okay, that goes to the customer. And we're excited about that, that these are economical technology solutions to achieve capacity throughput, which means the customers benefit in many ways as well. I mean, and for us, it basically shows a commitment to innovation. We were founded by Sam Insel, Thomas Edison's assistants, way back in the early 1900s. And in some ways, we were the beginning of the modern utility. And I started here in Chicago. And we are proud of our heritage and our history and our innovation. And we pride ourselves with this next chapter of innovation with companies like Prismian, and not only ComEd, but all the Exelon companies, and how we can demonstrate this commitment to innovative thinking for our customers. And then sharing. And I think Satish and Andrea will probably agree with me around these partnerships then result in sharing across other companies, certainly our sister companies out east, BGE, PICO, and PHI, but certainly in the industry on how we can learn from each other. And I think that the power grid industry and the utility industry has been effective over the years in sharing and replicating innovations across our power grid so that the customers can benefit. So it's very important and it's very exciting.
As Terry mentioned, the sharing, I would like to say that we have not only this technology, right? We have partnered with other technologies as well, which we work with Exelon utilities like a ComEd, BGE, PICO, and PEPCO. We work with them to identify future technologies, which I will share later part of this conversation.
So staying focused on the E3X, Satish, what's next for this technology?
Yeah, it is a great question and important step for this project. Currently, the line which we quoted is being monitored by the advanced monitoring and sensing technology to capture temperature and sag-related information. We anticipate that later this summer, we will get first set of data, and we will continue to monitor at least another 1 year. This information, the temperature and sag-related performance information, is highly valuable to identify the future project and build a business case. So we are excited about this journey, and the most important step is the commercializing this one across the US. and we are looking forward to work with the Exelon team.
Andrea, we talked a little bit about innovation from the Exelon ComEd standpoint. How does innovation factor into the work of Prismian Group?
Well, Prismian is a company that had started in the past century. I think the official date is 1878. And it originally was Pirelli. It was making tires, cables, and all kinds of rubber products. And since the beginning, it started on creating new products, new things, new inventions. There was always a tradition of innovation. In the last years, we have seen the company growing strong, specialized in cable. Prysmian Group does only cables, energy, and telecom. And I have seen in the last few years a strong reinforcement of the investment, of the effort, not of the quality of the job that was done in R&D. You know that in 2018, Prismian basically joined forces together with General Cable to create the Prysmian Group. They is one of the leading suppliers of cables in North America. And what I'm coming from the Prismian legacy, I was so happy to find in General Cable in North America such a strength, such a creativity in terms of R&D and innovation effort. And what was really unique, peculiar, was the fact that all this effort was always in partnership with customers. So this culture of working together, trying to develop something that can benefit the relationship, can benefit the customer, and can also be shared and benefit the community. So this is something that has enriched a lot the company. You know that the head of R&D from General Cable then became the head of R&D for the new group with great success. And he was one of the guys that, together with Exelon and ComEd, started this journey some years ago. So this culture is very much permeated the company. And it's very nice to work in this environment, I have to say.
Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for your kind feedback. So, Jen, apart from this, technology, E3X technology, we have a great partnership with the Exelon leadership and team, which helped us to build a relationship on few other technologies. Right? Currently, we are working on another technology that would help to improve the reliability of underground cable network system, and also it improves the safety of manual splicing process. Right? So this technology is at a very early stage, but again, personally, I'm excited to be part of that journey, and I'm looking forward to the future opportunity for the industry.
Terry, from your perspective, what does it mean to earn an Edison Award?
Thank you. And any award is an honor and a privilege to be recognized in the industry on partnership and innovation and technology, being at the forefront of innovations in the power industry. And for a company like Exelon, that's important to our culture, it's important to our mission. And to have this kind of award is important. It's important for our employees. And it's this type of innovation is the standard for which we are continually striving to ensure that our system is ready to meet the challenges of the future. We're focused on having a more reliable and resilient and secure grid for our customers, integrating high penetration renewables, and it helps establish, this recognition helps establish ComEd and Exelon as leaders and inspires us to continue to seek out opportunities and innovations to improve. I would, add an additional point of, I think Satish mentioned the underground system. We've also been a long-standing partner with Prismian on high voltage underground conductors. We've been talking about with these coatings, the overhead transmission conductors, which are on the big towers, the steel towers that you see out there. But it's been a really long-standing partnership around innovations in our underground transmission. And as you would think, with a global city like Chicago, we have a fair amount of that going on right now. In fact, work going on now installing Prismian cables as we speak in the city. So, and then also, Prismian has a cable factory in Illinois, and we actually pull a lot of cable out of that factory. And when you modernize a grid and you prepare a grid for the future, you're actually that factory employs a lot of people in Illinois, and the plant is running quite well and is a major supplier for us. So you look at the economic development theme and the jobs around these kinds of innovations or grid modernization in general. So it's very important, and we're very proud of our employees, and so appreciative of the partnership with Prismian. And in this day and age, no one can do it alone. You know, we need partners. We need partners like Prismian. We need national labs. We need our regulators. We need state legislators. You know, we need academia. We need everybody to meet these challenges. And what I've seen is that these kinds of ecosystems of innovation are more the standard today. Multiple partners. Satish mentioned, you know, the robotics, to kind of partner to get the robotics right. I know BGE, our sister company, worked with Prismian on the actual coatings installed at the factory versus robotics installed out on the line. So we can't do it alone. It takes multiple partners, and you know, I think with Prismian and ComEd, we've been around a long time, and it's exciting to see why we've been around a long time, and I think it's because of these types of innovations and recognition.
Thank you, Terry. Thanks for your mentorship and support on this. And as you rightly said, partnership with the national labs and other agencies, it's important for any new innovation in this complex environment. And also sharing, right? Sharing with other utilities who would like to participate in this kind of journey, right? That is also important, because the problem what we are solving is for not only for one industry, it's for overall for US, right? So there are multiple companies who would like to partner with us, and we are open, which help us to create a more reliable, safer, and economical energy power transition.
Energy efficiency, these are big problems to tackle. What's your advice, and any of you jump in here, to other companies that are looking at really significant problems in our world? How do you start to get those right players talking to each other so that a successful partnership can develop?
One of the colleagues of mine says everything starts with team and talent, and I think that's what it starts there. The people that we have, the talent that we're bringing into our companies, and that's where we see the sleeves being rolled up from the employees and tackling these issues. And you know, it's not an exact science. It's messy. There's mistakes. We obviously want to keep safety at the forefront and learn from mistakes, learn from trial and error. I mean, execution's a messy business for especially for innovation. But team and talent and people, I think we all would agree, is critical to meet these challenges. And starting folks on, like, just solve a couple of issues in this one area, and then start thinking about, okay, how do you make it bigger and better and expand? You know, you just got to start. You know, these power grids are enormous, right? It's one of the electricity is the greatest innovations in perhaps the history of the world, certainly the recent century. You know, I think they can be intimidating, you know, in terms of the legacy system, the age of the systems, and the high tech challenges that it's trying to address. Well, it will get there. And I think you just got to start with solving a problem somewhere, and then you'll see innovation starting to expand more aggressively. And I think with team and talent at our companies, it's very encouraging. We're encouraged here with our team and talent. It's coming on to address these challenges. The new generations are, eager to tackle challenges like climate change and resiliency on cybersecurity and things like that. So that's my perspective.
Terry, I share the same opinion. I believe putting together the right team in terms of competencies, motivation, energy is fundamental. As you were saying, innovation, is not it has a peculiar path. So sometimes you have to try things, you have to believe in things, commit, working together. So you need people with a certain mindset here. And in order to be successful, fundamental is to try to address an issue. That's why it's so important for us to always work together with our customers, because together with customers, we then understand in deeper issues, opportunities, how to move forward, what to try, what in our wide portfolio of technologies might be the best to use in a certain situation. But at the end, it's very much the quality of the people that you have in there, the mindset, this curiosity and stamina, willingness to succeed, to move forward.
Yeah, I agree with Terry and Andrea comment. Any innovation, when you want to solve the complex problem, the most important thing, the first step is forming a right team and partnering with the customer. And also, I would like to add additional one aspect. Any complex innovation in this generation, it involves a lot of financial requirement. So we are partnering with the Exelon Group, and we are approaching Department of Energy to fund some of the project which we are working with them. Hopefully, that will help to solve some of the largest problem in US power grid system.
We certainly see the impact of great companies with great people and great innovation mindsets coming together and looking at what you can accomplish and achieve. So thank you for your partnership that's truly benefiting all of us as consumers as we explore this new technology. And congratulations once again on your Edison Award.
Thank you, Jen.
Jennifer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Inspiring Minds, powered by the Edison Awards, showcasing the leading innovators from across the globe. I'm Jennifer Trammell. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to having you join us for our next conversation with another inspiring innovator.